Guys, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Saturday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, which means it's time for us to have a little video tutorial together. I hope you are having a good weekend so far, and we're getting rain right now. Not anything like what the folks in Louisiana saw, I'm certain, but let's just say it was pretty darn damp feeding the horses tonight. Very damp, and of course this was the night that they decided no, they didn't want to go in the barn. They wanted to play around and be silly, so that's what they did instead of just going in the barn. Thankfully I had my rain jacket on, so at least I'm only wet from, you know, the knees down, so that's good. Hey Julie, hi Patricia, hi Jean, hi Bree, appreciate y'all joining. Hello Linda, appreciate you coming. I hope we'll get to spend 30 minutes and all will be well. Hi Donna, hi Nancy. Hey Rosie, how are you? Thank you Linda, appreciate you. Hi Barbara. All right, we're gonna get started because we are under a tornado watch. There was apparently a tornado on the ground, 15-20 miles south of us, so I don't think that's an issue, and we're not in a warning or anything, but so we're certainly not in danger, but it wouldn't surprise me if we lost power and internet. So if I suddenly drop off, you'll know that the power system has failed. Hey Brooke, hi Barbara, hi Karen, hi Robbie. All right, so this is the card that I gave you the sneak peek of this morning. It uses the Autumn Greeting stamp set and the bundled Autumn Essentials, which is my new, currently today, for this moment in time, my current favorite. Hi Julie. Oh yes, we don't, we'll be fine, Donna, I'm sure. Well, I mean, I hope we will. I'm sure we will. This is my new favorite set, like for this moment in time. I am a total fan of solid and detailed pumpkin dies that go together like this. And what I did is I used colors. This is the color challenge for the paper players that will come out tomorrow. So it's going to be Cajun Craze, Cinnamon, Cider, Mossy Meadow, and yep, one more. Well, let me look and see what it was. I'm sure it's one that I said even. Yeah. Oh, Cajun Craze. So, yeah. Crushed Curry, Cinnamon, Cider, Cajun Craze, and Mossy Meadow. Okay, there you go. And then here on the inside, I love, are these not absolutely the most gorgeous fonts? I just think that the fonts and the sentiments here are amazing. Hi, Amy. Hi, Jewel. Appreciate you joining. Hi, Denise. So let's go ahead and get started. I did do a little pre-cutting ahead of time because, you know, I could, and it just didn't seem like you needed to watch me cut. So all of these will be on my blog post tomorrow, all of the card cuts that you will need. Of course, you'll see, perhaps you'll notice here that what I do not have in my hand is a card base. So let me get that. It's a Mossy Meadow card base, and with any luck, oh no, certainly I do not have one cut. That would be crazy. Any other time I'd have 3 of them cut, but not today. So do you ever have that thing where the more time you have on your hands, the less likely you are to get work done and get done what you need to do? That is what is happening to me. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate that. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and score and fold this so it'll be ready for us when we get there. My apologies, people. Okay, there we go. Fortunately, that was easy peasy, and I did have my bone folder handy. Okay, so there. Whew, okay, all right. Okay, so we're going to start with a piece of cinnamon cider, and I am going to take the small image from Autumn Greetings, this small pumpkin, and we're going to stamp it all over the front in cinnamon cider. So it's going to be a tone-on-tone look. Yeah, Sharon, this is one to not ignore. So unignorify it because it's a good one. I really, really like this set a lot. Let me get it out of the way before I get ink on it. Okay, so we're just going to stamp around. We're going to stamp around the town tonight. Oh my goodness, I'm already starting. And I don't really need to get in the middle because I'm going to be covering it with DSP, but I'm going to be sure that I'm close enough that I don't have any gaps when I go to put everything on here. Okay. I love tone-on-tone stamping. It's really kind of fun because it gives you, to me, it's kind of like embossing this card front, right? So it gives you a little bit of, hi Mary, it gives you a little bit of interest and a little bit of, you know, a little something, something, without being a whole lot of something, something like that. Did you see the difference in my something, somethings? Okay. So we're just going to stamp around like this, and then we'll mat it up, and we'll be good to go. All right. Okay. There we go. We were sitting in the kitchen this afternoon, actually, you know, like around lunchtime, and we had all the windows and doors open because it was pleasant. The weather was still pleasant. It was cloudy, maybe a little breezy, but not anything significant. And all of a sudden, the house kind of, you know how if there's like a blip in the electricity, like not quite a power outage, but a blip, and the whole house kind of went blip, and I swear I saw a flash. And then like that much later, we heard this big bang, and if we hadn't seen the blip of the electricity, and if I hadn't seen the flash, we would have thought it was a gunshot. That's what it sounded like. But Wayne said it was a transformer going somewhere. But we didn't lose power there, so apparently it was a transformer on somebody else's line or something like that. Thanks, Julie. Thank you, Faith. Yeah, cinnamon cider is the bomb. I love it. I love it. Okay, that's not the right size. Something isn't right here. One thing is not like the other. That's because this is too big. Okay. All right. Stop singing. Fix. Stop singing and fix. Okay, I'm going to... See, the joy of my videos for you is that you know I'm not going to edit this out. I'm just owning it, man. I screwed this up and I'm owning it. So I'm just wiping down the liquid glue a little bit so that I don't get it everywhere. And fortunately, it's not too difficult of a fix. I'm just going to bring it down. What I've done is I'd cut this to the wrong size. Duh, Mary. And so I'm going to cut it down to card front size, 3 7/8 by 4. By 5 1/8. And let's see if that's closer to right. Let's see if that's closer to right. Yeah, that's better. So now I'll put some more glue on. Pretend you didn't see that. You know, that's just something you can't unsee. So I get it. I get it. But the good news is it was an easy peasy fix. And now, if you ever make the same mistake, you will know exactly what to do. Just don't forget, it does help to kind of wipe down the glue a little bit. Otherwise, you'll get glue all in your trimmer, and nobody wants that. Okay. So here's our card front. Now I have some of the beautiful Gilded Autumn DSP, and this is showing it should be back in stock on the 19th of October. So hopefully it is just around the corner, which is great because this is gorgeous paper. And I am also matting it on a piece of early espresso so that I can make this center panel. Now some of you might recognize this sketch. Do you guys know the Mojo Monday sketch challenge? This is it. Yes, someone has to support the glue industry. That's correct. And I'm only half supporting the dimensionals industry now, so I'm trying to take up the slack with the glue industry. Okay, so I'm just going to put this kind of roughly on the center of the panel, centering it up and down as best I can so that it's as sort of straight as I can get it. There we go. I'm gonna see, all I'm doing is just lining up that grid so that then I can use these grids to kind of make sure that my panel is straight. You can also be sure that your edges are aligned with the edge of the panel as well. Okay, the next piece is another piece of the same paper. This is the beautiful, this is why this is a specialty paper, is because of the gold foiling on so many of the pieces. You can see this one is gold and copper or bronze. It's probably bronze. And you can see how pretty that is. Can you tell? Yeah. Okay, great. And we're going to just mat this on early espresso as well. This is one of those times when I did not get very far away from the sketch. I liked the sketch anyway. It gave me a lot of layers, and maybe you've noticed I kind of like layers, just a little bit. Okay, and we're gonna put that on like that, and we have got the basis of our card done. Okay, so now it's time to decorate. Let's decorate. The first thing I'm gonna do is I have cut a label from this die in the Tasteful Labels die set. Okay, guys, if you don't have Tasteful Labels, I highly recommend it. It is a great set, very, very versatile, lots of different shapes for your sentiments and images. So, Tasteful Labels, get it, get it. And I cut it out of a piece of Whisper White, and so I'm going to stamp the sentiment, Give Thanks with a Grateful Heart, and I'm going to stamp it in Mossy Meadow on kind of the bottom portion of that. I know, it's a good sketch, right? And I'm going to stamp it in Mossy Meadow. And like I said, I want it near the bottom because you can see what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to adhere it to the top of this panel and cut it off, okay? I'm really actually going to just cut right there. So it'll be an easy cut, and with any luck, I'll get it centered and where it needs to be. Okay. We're just holding it for a beat. Oh, don't know that I love that. So let me go ahead and do my second one. That's why I do a second one. And we'll see if I can do this better. Okay, everybody, I want you to all raise your left hand, flex your right foot, stick your tongue out, and hold your breath. And I'm just gonna set it there like that, and I'm not gonna press this time. Hey, Sue. All right, there we go. Let's see what we got. Ah, that's a mo better. See the difference? Icky, not icky. Icky, not icky. Let's use the not icky version. That's why I cut two. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to just go crazy here, and I am going to do a fussy cut right across the top of that. And all I'm doing is cutting from corner to corner. Okay? And then I'm going to pop that on with some dimensionals. Let me find some. Here we go. And we'll pop that on, and then all we got to do is some decorations. And I have them all cut. So yay! Yay for pre-cutting. How to pre-cut dies. Yeah, it is raining like a booger right now. So when I went to feed, I had my shorts on and my raincoat, my rain jacket with the hood on. I got the feed pulled, everything was done. Of course, they were down at the bottom where I had to go walk further because that's the gate they needed to come out. So I decided I would just let them get themselves into the barn like we do, you know, every night. Well, I forgot to unplug the bug zapper. And you would have thought they both went trotting in, and they turned the corner into the barn aisle, and the next thing I know, they're squeezing back out. I'm like, what? No, oh, the bug zapper. I think they must have thought it was the pony killing fields or something. I don't know. But they took that as an opportunity to canter around the barn and eat some grass here and there that they didn't need, but they did it anyway. So, God, ponies. Ponies, I tells ya. I tells ya. All right. Now we're going to adhere. Oh, sorry. I should tell you where this is from. This is from the Painted Labels die set. It's this little wreath doohickey here. Remember, this is the Painted Labels, and it goes with Peaceful Moments, I think. Or no, wait, it goes with Painted Poppies. Correct. Painted Poppies. All right. In the annual catalog. And we're just going to use some liquid glue. And we're going to adhere it right like that. There we go. Maybe a little lower. Right there. We'll go right there. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now here's all of my die cuts to decorate. I have cut some grasses out of crushed curry. And I have cut 2 crushed curry pumpkins, one big, one little. and a big cinnamon cider. And then out of the bronze brushed metallic cardstock, I've cut the detailed dies. All right, the detailed pumpkin noodles. We are just south of the airport, about 15 minutes, Roz. So yes, I think we'll be safe. It's just a warning, it's just a watch, and it's, when I looked at the radar, I didn't see red embedded, and that's usually the signal. That doesn't mean it can't change, but it looks to me like this is just going to be a rain event for us, although Noonan apparently had one, so. You never know. Tornadoes they don't listen to the weather. I have decided that tornadoes don't go, oh well, they're only in a warning, therefore I can't go there. So I had a friend famously tell me once that we couldn't possibly be getting ready to have a tornado because we were only in a watch. I'm like, let's talk about how they go from watches to warnings. Hello. So I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue, and it's so little that none is actually coming out. There we go. I can feel that this bottle is about to be a dead bottle of glue, but that's okay. I think it will get us through. It will get us through. Isn't that pretty, the bronze on the cinnamon cider like that? I like that. I love this bronze metallic cardstock. I really, really hope that this is a continuing on trend here. Stampin' Up, are you listening to my desires? I want this brushed metallic cardstock, and I want plaid tidings. I want it, I want it. Or you don't call it plaid tidings, call it plaid bindings, I don't care. Big old pack of plaid, whatever you want to call it, but boy do I like those papers. Okay. Now I suppose if I was really trying to save time for y'all, I would have pre-glued all of these, but I didn't. So here you go. Okay, so I want to tell you something before I forget. So next Saturday, which is Facebook Day, I'm probably going to be on at about 5 instead of 7 Eastern time, because a friend of mine is having a birthday party and I want to go. So I'm going to pull it up a little bit to the left so that we can all still meet, but I can also still go to the party, because that's how I'm rolling. Okay, so now I'm going to take, before I get carried away and do something dumb, I'm going to put, this is the faux suede trim. It's 1/4 inch wide, faux suede trim from the annual catalog, and I'm just going to put a couple of loops there. I'm going to do that with the Stampin' seal. I've shown you how to do that before, but I'm going to do it again. Oh, please don't be out of this. There we go. I don't know if I have a refill either. Okay, so I'm just going to wind it like that and then double it back. So you saw where I put the trim or the seal, so now it's just grabbing that ribbon as it goes by. And I'm just kind of trying to keep the loops equal distant above and below. If they keep the bronze, yes, bronze is my favorite. It's my go-to color, Julie. The other two are very pretty. I have a hard time telling the difference between the gold and the copper, though. Not gonna fib ya. So the copper in this set is different from the old copper, I think. Okay, now we just start kind of building our pieces and parts. Now, because I've already done this once, I know that I'm gonna cut these down because they're too long. So I'm just going to cut right about there. Where's the other one? Here we go. We'll cut it right about there, and that ought to give us just about enough room. We're just going to do a little bit of layering, like that. Yeah, see, I did that like clean and simple one the other day, so I had to fix that and do a real card, you know, with layers, because hello. Layers are important, and they're really, I'm much happier when I have layers. I'm not even gonna fib. I like me a layer. I like me a 12 layer. 12 layer card is better. If 1 layer is good and 2 layers is good, 12 layers is way better. Okay, and then we're going to put this cinnamon doodle. And then this last little guy is going to end up being popped on with a dimensional. Now I like that. It looks like a pumpkin patch, don't you think? It is overcompensation. I swung the other way, as it were. All right, so let's go ahead and pick these up till we get to the first layer. And then I'm going to pull my glue out. And I'm going to pick this little guy up. And put some glue, maybe, on his stem. And stick him back in place. So this is a tip when you're doing your collages. If you can't take a picture, like I can't right now because my camera is in use, otherwise you guys wouldn't get to see anything because I'd have to shut it down. But when I made the first one, I took a picture. When I got my collage how I wanted it, I took a picture so that I could then take it apart and put it back together more or less in the same way that I had it when I said, oh, that's it, that's where it is, I like it. Okay, so we'll put him right there like that. In this case, let's be honest, I'm using my sample, which is off to the side here, right? Because I'm using my sample as kind of my picture. Because if you work all that hard to find exactly where you want everything, why have to reinvent the wheel? We've talked about that. There we go. Here we go. My 12 layers. Yay! Hey Beth, how are you? 12 layers of chocolate. Yes. Yes, I like where you're going. 12 layers of chocolate. Yes. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. I can't get over how pretty that cinnamon cider is. I've never actually seen a cinnamon cider pumpkin, but I'm sure it could be a thing if it wanted to be. All right, now if you look, well, you probably can't tell, but this little one is popped on with dimensionals, and I've got 2 dimensionals, 1 single layer dimensionals here, and then a double layer dimensional here, because you can see I've already got, this one is already kind of up. It's not on dimensionals, but there's enough layers now that it's got its own height. So if I'm adhering to this part, I need a double dimensional to do that. Did any of what I just say make any sense at all? So what I am going to do is I'm going to stick my double dimensional right there on the actual card front. So you just put one, take the cover off, and put the second one, leave the cover on that one. And then I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals here, one layer each. What I probably should do really quick is close my glue. Okay, there we go. There we go. I know, Karen. I know. Chocolate is, yes. Okay, and then it helps to just lay it on before you open up the dimensional covers, just to be sure everything is kind of flat, okay? And I usually do this. I'll kind of take a look here, and I'm going to call that pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and pull these covers off, and pull that cover off, and then we'll put this little guy right there. Parfait. And then, because I can and I love them, I'm going to add a couple of cinnamon, not that one came apart, you booger. There we go. I'm going to add a cinnamon cider dot like that, and then I'm going to add another cinnamon cider dot right there, and then I think I'll add another cinnamon cider dot right here. And you know, I think, well, no, I'm just going to leave it. Okay, and there we go. So there's our card front. I'll set that aside, and then we're going to do the innards. And for the innards, I'm going to stamp a second sentiment from Autumn Greetings. And amazingly, it's the sentiment that says Autumn Greetings. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. So let's see if we can get this correct. Let's do it. Let's do it. Mossy Meadow. Oh, Mossy Meadow, where are you? Here we go. Thank you, Mary. All right. And we're just gonna do the Mark 1 eyeball. Don't forget my tip. If this is your first time using the stamp in a while, or certainly if it's the first time ever, do a pre-stamp on some scrap paper to make sure that it is lined up and that the image itself is the same as where the sticker tells you it should be. There we go. I will take it. Yep. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp my pumpkin again. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. In cinnamon cider, down here in the bottom corner. And while I'm at it, why don't I do that to the bottom corner of my envelope? Okay. We'll put that aside. Actually, we won't. We're going to use the lid because I'm going to use a blender pen to color my pumpkin. And all I did was, if you've never done this before, is you just squeeze the ink pad like that. And what that does is it puts ink on the top of the lid. And then you can use that as like a little palette doohickey. Okay, so just kind of run your blender pen in, and then we're going to color the pumpkin. Y'all are sitting there going, I wonder why she's not using her Stampin' blends. Well, I could have. I certainly could have, but I wanted I wanted lighter color. I didn't want it to be quite as intense, and even the light cinnamon cider is going to be a darker thing. So, you know, if you think about it, you've got 4 values of cinnamon cider, right? You've got the cinnamon cider Stampin' Right marker is 1 value, and by value I mean level of intensity of color. Then you have the light and the dark Stampin' Blend combo, so you've got cinnamon cider in light and cinnamon cider in dark, and then you have your blender pen version. I can make this pretty darn dark with my blender pen just by picking up extra ink, right? So I want it a little bit darker up here. There we go, a little bit darker there, just by adding a little bit of ink. Now, you do need to be a little judicious about really doing a lot of scrubbing and coloring and painting on things that aren't like watercolor paper or shimmery white cardstock or thick cardstock, because it'll kind of pill up the fibers of the paper, okay? But it worked out pretty good right there. So let me do the innards, my inner liner right quick, and then we're going to do a little light coloring of the leaves with the lid of the Mossy Meadow ink pad. I got any questions? No? Video seems dark. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can turn the light a little bit. All my lights are on. There we go. Oops. Now the video probably seems crookedy because I bumped it. There. I'm sorry. That's the best I can do. It's about what I've got every week, so hopefully you can see good enough. I'm sorry about that. All right. So we've got that colored. We'll put this away, and then on the other end, I'm going to use the other end of my blender pen. I'm going to use the lid of my Mossy Meadow ink pad, like that. Okay, good. So it's good for most everybody. Good. Glad to hear it. Okay. Man, you can really tell it's getting to be winter. It's like, what, 7:30, and it is pitch black outside. Pitch black. Isn't that weird how so fast it goes from late to boom, dark in a heartbeat? Crazy. I hate it. I am not a winter light person. I don't like winter light because there isn't any. I wouldn't do good in Alaska in the winter, that's for certain sure. Between the snow and the lack of light. Oof. 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 I'd be done, skay. All right, and there's that. I'm going to set that aside for just a second, and we'll go ahead and put our card together. Hi, Pam. Appreciate you joining. I hope you're doing well up there in North Kakalaki. And we're going to put this on it. Hopefully I've got these cut correctly. That's once you make a mistake on your first thing, it's always like, oh gosh, how many others did I bork up? How many others did I bork up? That is the question that one has to ask oneself. Okay, and then I'm going to put one of these little cinnamon cider dots. Gosh darn it, I keep getting under the dot, but not under the color dot. Okay, there we go. There. And then we're going to use a little liquid glue and put it in that mossy meadow that I've had ready since the very beginning. You did not see me having to cut and score and fold that. It was totally ready the whole time. These are not the droids you seek. Move along. Yes, that was an unsolicited Star Wars reference. I can hear the wind now, boy. It's going. Let me see. I've got a little dot of something right there. I don't know what it is, but it's bothering me. Nope. I think it's just a little bit of a blim in the paper. Okay. So then let us use some more dimensionales. Let me close up my glue. I keep forgetting to do that. Why? Why, I ask you? Why? Yeah, we have been getting rain. It's been raining off and on all day, and then about, oh gosh, an hour and a half ago it just started, and you know how you can tell when it's just sort of entrenched and it's sitting here and gonna rain all night? That's how it is now. It's not like monsooning or anything, but it's darn sure raining like a booger. And I can't tell if what I'm hearing is the rain gutters or wind. I don't know. All I ever know is if my husband tells me to go to the basement, I'm going to the basement. He's got like this sense about tornadoes. I've been to the ditch 2 or 3 times in my life, and they've all been with him, and he told me to go, and he was right all of those times. So I hope we don't do it again, because I didn't like it. I don't like being in ditches. I wouldn't be in a ditch here, I'd be in the basement. But it scares me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a wuss when it comes to tornadoes. Like, I don't even know why I qualified that with kind of. I'm a total wuss. We had like some weather, pre-COVID, it was before COVID, so like this time last year maybe, and it was bad. It was just marching across the south, and I was awake all night long. Wayne's laying next to me in bed just snoring. Totally asleep, and I'm glued to the TV waiting, just waiting. This is it. This is the big one. It's gonna get us for sure. And of course it didn't. It didn't even really get very, very scary. But I'm a wuss. I'm not gonna fib you. Okay, and there we go. So there's our card. Let's finish off our envelope. We'll put a little bit of this pretty foiled paper on the flap. You know what? I have all of these minis. For some reason, I went through a phase where I was buying minis, and I really don't use minis. I use full size that I cut in half now. Thank you, Amy. But I've got these minis, and I'm just kind of trying to run them out, right? So that I can consolidate the number of open packs of dimensionals that I have sitting in my adhesive bin. So I'm just trying to run them out. Oh, Stampin' Up, if you're listening, we'd like to have black dimensionals that come in packs of large and black dimensionals that come in packs of small, instead of black dimensionals that come with one of each. Because some of us don't care for minis, some of us don't care for larges, so let us pick our sizes, but we want blacks to be back. We like black dimensionals. I do, at least. I have so many desires. I am really surprised that Stampin' Up doesn't call me on a daily basis to ask what they could do for me. Okay, there we go. And there we have a beautiful fall card, Give Thanks with a Grateful Heart, and the beautiful Autumn Greetings sentiment on the inside, and a matching envelope. What do you think? Autumn Greetings, people. One of the prettiest stamp sets there, and its matching bundle, Autumn Essentials. All right, so remember, Thursday at 1 o'clock, will be my YouTube video. We've still got the DSP sale going on until the end of the month, and it is the 10th, so you've got about 15, 20 days left. Be sure to get in on that. And if you haven't signed up for the paper pumpkin, the Christmas paper pumpkin, this is the last day. Get it now. Hurry, quick. All right, and then next Saturday, Facebook will be at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Here, I'm going to do this. Watch this. 5 p.m. There. Now it's a visual, and you've seen it. So if you're a visual learner, you'll be good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.